Tonight, we're diving into two stories that says a whole lot about the Democratic Party and where American culture is today. In the first part, we have CNN segment that asks the question, is the Democratic Party the party of masculine men? Which is probably a question you wouldn't even ask if they weren't trying to redefine masculinity as we speak. And speaking of redefining, in the second clip, we have a viral video of a trans woman who goes to restaurants, filming herself, waiting for the waitstaff to misgender her. She's upset because she's not being greeted the way she expects. Is this about respect, or is this about expecting special treatment? Stick with me as I break down what's really going on, and I show you that these two stories are more connected than they seem. Let's get it.
Is he right?
I mean, Eric Adams is still a Democrat-ish, right?
He does push. You think he's masculine?
No, he's buff for 63 years old. I was going to say Obama. When they said right away who's the most... Now, he's slim, but he's athletic. He plays ball.
But is he right that Republican... Well, first of all, let me just show you the numbers, because actually the numbers maybe do suggest this. For young men under the age of 29, the swing from 2020 to 2024 in Trump's favor is pretty significant. 49 to 48, Trump to Harris. It's almost tied with young men. Trump did very well with young people relative to what he normally does. There's something going on here.
No, and I mean, this was why, Joe Rogan was so influential in this campaign. Joe Rogan has an audience mostly of young men. There was this whole big drama about whether Kamala Harris was going to give an interview to him, wound up not doing it. I think is probably a mistake, although it probably didn't affect the outcome of the election. But, I mean, I think, that guy said was pretty dumb, but it is not, it is true that Democrats have a problem, especially with young men. I mean, that is a real fact.
So to me, that, in a way, it validates what Clay Travis is talking about, because if you're trying to get young men, you're not going to get them on all policy points and all the... Yeah. No, Joe Rogan knows karate, and sometimes he talk about drugs. That's good enough for me. Pete Hegseth was in Germany this week doing squats with like 220 on the bar outside for no reason. That's what the Democrat... I'm being silly, but
and you know what?
serious.
One of the other points that Clay Travis made, and I think this is true, we saw this in real time. When Trump had the assassination attempt in Butler, that image of him raising his fist and saying, fight, 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 was like a shot of testosterone in the arms of a lot of men. Mark Zuckerberg was like, oh my God, he's so cool. Mm-hmm. And now look at where we are politically with some of these very people really turning politically toward Trump.
Those numbers that you just read, it's been happening for 10 years. This has been happening slowly but surely over time. I think that pollster in that clip earlier had said 2 out of 6 moderate men voted for Trump. It was the majority of moderate men voted for Trump. Even over 20% of liberal men voted for Trump. There has been what is seen as I don't want to say a war on masculinity, but there has been this trend in the Democratic Party, or it's at least felt that the left is becoming more and more hostile to the things that are typically men. And you've seen John Fetterman talk about this idea of like patronizing, calling them bros, or that ad that looked like a spoof at the end of the race of like, real men do this. It's like, have you ever talked to a dude in your life? So in James Carville saying, we need to have less like yappy voices and more men talking. And there are many men in the Democratic Party.
Democratic messaging is too feminine. But Carrie, what do you think is the masculinity that they are attracted to in Trump?
I'm laughing because no disrespect to you lovely men on this panel.
We do have
but you men are something. That's all, you men are something. And I can see the appeal of Donald Trump being a very strong masculine man, and I can see him winning over men, because I do agree the Democratic Party, for all intent and purpose, felt like a place for the others, and they tried to take on every issue that the Republicans didn't want. If you want to talk about trans, come here. If you want to talk about LGBTQIA, come here. If you want to talk about men and women, in sports, come here. There were all of these things that I felt men wanted to say felt emasculating. It felt like, I'm not with that. I don't believe in that. And I'm going to go over here because they're saying what I'm thinking.
And the abortion issue played a role in that. I mean, I think they did a political calculation.
And I think no one cared about abortion.
The whole liberal swing that anything masculine is evil, and it's misogynistic, and it's mansplaining. Like, just for a man to have an opinion that's different than any woman, it becomes a problematic. That makes men problematic to have different opinions. When we are different, not only anatomically, but physiologically. There's difference between men and women. And then we're different in general. Just some men are different than other men. But the point is, yeah, all those things caused the liberals or the Democrats to lose votes. So did the policy. But then, it's not just that, though. It's not just, they saw a more masculine senator. They listened to Joe Rogan. Like, Joe Rogan is not why a lot of black men chose not to vote for Kamala Harris. Yeah, it's like the Democrats will do anything not to admit it's a problem with their damn policies. It's a problem. It's a problem like this. This is a problem. Now, this is a clip of a trans woman who goes to restaurants, who films herself to see how many people don't call her her. Now, I'm just going to ask you, what party do you think she voted for? Do you think she voted for Trump, or do you think she voted for Kamala Harris?
Looks like he's having a nice feast.
She, her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
But it was not all good.
Hi. I use she, her pronouns. I'm not sir. Yeah, like it's like a knife in the heart. I did specifically ask ahead of time not to be called sir. Yeah, I'm just going to go. Okay. The Sweetwater starts at, okay.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
It's just always like a knife. It always hurts every single time. I was wondering if there's a manager I could talk to about something that happened. Yeah, I was called sir.
Went on and on and on. She went to several restaurants. I don't know how many. She never filmed any restaurants where people called her a woman. Only the restaurants where they didn't.
Yeah, I was called sir. Oh, okay. It just really sucks every time it happens. Sorry about that. I don't need to be called ma'am. I just need to not be called sir, Thank you. Did you call me sir? I just want to tell you that the person who gave me this called me sir. What? Called me sir. Oh. It's just like, it kind of just hurts a lot to get called sir.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
Very good. Thank you so much. No, yeah. Thank you. I'm not a sir. Nothing like a good misgendering. It is a knife in the gut when I get called sir. I feel like I need to tell him. I need to tell him that hurt. It hurts more, though, and it's not intentional, because it means like this is sir to him. I know you didn't mean it, but I'm not a sir.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I know you didn't mean it. It's just, it hurts. I know when people clock me, it's fine, but like, it does kind of hurt.
And it's like, do you think they intentionally give a shit? Like, they want a tip from you. Like, maybe more and more makeup, because the server, the waiter, doesn't want to tick off the person they're waiting on. You can tip them. Like, they make a living off of serving you. And the last, like, what good would that be? This person's trying to piss off a person who they could give them money. It's stupid, right? It's not intentional. In that particular scenario, it makes no sense for even the biggest dumbass to do that. Because you get pissed off, you're not going to tip them. So it doesn't make sense.
Thank you. I'm not sir.
Oh, sorry.
Not sir. Not sir. But the guy who dropped the food off, he called me sir twice in a row.
Okay. I'll let him know that, and
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now I want you to answer for me. Answer for me. Who is the more masculine party? Does that have something to do with it? Is it just that, or is it just the fixation on this type of shit? Who do you think she voted for? Who do you think her party is? And which party would be trying to run me out of town for playing a clip that's on X, that's played everywhere on X. I seen it on X. I seen it on TikTok. Of this that is annoying as hell. A person filming themselves in makeup, but still looks like a dude, and then walking out on bills or walking out of restaurants pissed off, films it saying, I'm being hurt. These people are hurting me because they don't recognize that I am something other than what I look like. You know, I could do that, I guess. You know, if you look like a guy and people call you a guy, like, that's not their fault. But I guess I could start filming me going into restaurants and tell people I want you to call me a white guy. You know, and I go in that restaurant, and if they wait on me and they don't call me, you know, I don't know, a white woman, I don't know. I guess I could do that. Nothing's stopping me from doing that. But, you know, I wouldn't do that. You know why? Because I'm not an asshole. You know, and a lot of what's going on is asshole, and I'm also reasonable. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should go fill out some job applications or send this, you know, apply for some jobs or opportunities, you know, and say that I'm a white guy. Maybe it'll work for me. And then say, no, you're not, Tim Black. You look like a black guy. Well, I'm not, though. And it hurts me that you don't recognize this. It hurts me that you don't see who I really am. This is what's happening. This is how things have gotten, right? But see, instead of addressing and saying, you know what, this is unreasonable, this doesn't make sense, instead they make policies to defend this unreasonableness. They make policies, and you cancel people, and you come for people, and you try to run people out of their jobs, you try to get people kicked off platforms. This is all the stuff that has been happening for the last 2 years under the Democratic Party. So you can make it about masculinity, but it's not. It's about being reasonable. It's about policy. It's about all those things all wrapped up into one. But at the end of the day, that's not the only reason why you're out of power, Democrats. You're out of power because you had no ideas that people liked. Your ideas sucked. Okay? And at the end of also, we would have put up with a lot more if you had policies that put money in our pockets. You know, I know it's going to sound transphobic, but it's not. But I got to speak my mind. Look, what the Democratic Party is doing with trans folks, trying to equate trans women to black folks, is preposterous. We're talking about the biggest insult this election cycle was this notion that trans issue, LGBTQ, particularly trans issues, are equatable to the civil rights movement for black Americans in the 50s and the 60s. And I see no correlation between the two. In fact, I'm surprised you did as good as you did, getting 90% or 85% of the black vote, getting 80% of black men, when you are shoving in our faces that these two things are alike. And I don't know a black person, I personally do not know a black person who sees trans issues and black issues the same. It boggles the mind. What an insult. If you filmed a sit-in back in the 60s, we weren't allowed to go in a restaurant. You know, we were complaining about things like not being able to rent a home. That's not what that person's complaining about, you know. She's complaining about people not seeing her the way she sees herself. But that's not what that's not what civil rights was about. Civil rights was about us having the rights as all human beings. But the Democrats have upped their ante to a point that it's just fucking crazy. Okay? That's what it is. It's fucking crazy. Because we're beyond just treat people like human beings. Don't attack people. You know, we were trying to let our children be able to go to school without being spit on by adults. Without having dogs sicked on us and rocks thrown at our heads. But we now have trans women putting out videos and calling themselves victims because somebody called them a guy. Huh? You don't see how insulting that is? No one's redlining black white men out of their homes or for getting bank loans because of this shit. It's totally different. But what happened? Obama came into office and he made it seem like it was the same thing. And it's not the same thing, damn it. It's not. These are worlds apart. So like I said, the part of the reason why the Democratic Party lost is they deserve to lose because they're unreasonable. And they're comparing apples and oranges and trying to make fruit punch. And that shit ain't working. Black Mama says, get a black mug. I've got a black mug. Go to timblackmug.com, timblackmug.com. Get yours today.